It is Viewpoint with Eniola. We're here to educate ourselves. We're here to learn, to share our views with regards to virtually all matters all issues that matters to us. So I think reproduction or health is an issue we can discuss, and doing that, we need to bring people who has experience, who has ideas, who are knowledgeable in that field. And today we'll be talking about women's reproductive health, and I have with me pharmacist Tope Akpotive. She is a pharmacist who studied and specialized on women productive health. So we'll be speaking with an expert on this issue. So don't mind me, I'm not an expert. So the fact that I'm bringing this topic, I also want to learn, and I want people around the world to also learn from our ideas and our knowledge. It is very difficult for us to get professionals in this field to come out and want to enlighten people or educate people, but it is a great privilege that we have this honor of having pharmacist Tope, who wants to share a little time of a tight schedule with us to educate us. And before I introduce her, I want to quickly read through her profile. Okay. She's on a mission to liberate millions of women from the shackles of fibroid, infertility, and menstrual problems, so they can be free to share their gift with the world and live the lives of their dreams. She's trained as a pharmacist at a prestigious University of Lagos. Okay, I also attended Lagos State University. So if you're wondering, University of Lagos and Lagos State University, they are different. But I also say my own university is also a prestigious university. You people can proud. And she also went to further her training at University of Washington, Shaw Academy Island, on leadership and nutrition, respectively. She is passionate about helping people experience better quality of life. That is very interesting. Her life and practice took a new turn after she received a fibroid diagnosis in 2012. Just 9 weeks into her first pregnancy, which later progressed with heavy menstrual periods and very large clots, this experience began a journey into a whole new perspective on health and disease. Today, she has not only fixed her fibroids and menstrual problems without surgery, but has gone ahead to receive grounded training to have an in-depth understanding of women's reproductive health from a holistic perspective. She's a firm believer in the holistic approach to health as the best way to sustainable health outcomes. She has helped many women, and I believe you also help many today, using natural lifestyle-based strategy. I'm so sweat. It's so hot in here because it is sunny, and you hardly see homes here in Germany with cooling system, or what do they call it? AC, air conditioners. And I have my lightnings, they are burning up, so don't mind my sweat. It's just the weather. And even as much as I try to open up my doors, I also try to avoid so much noise coming up into the stream. So it is interesting reading about Dr. or pharmacist Tope. Today, she has not only fixed her fibroid, like I said, and menstrual problems without surgery. She has gone ahead to receive grounded training and in-depth understanding of women's reproductive health. So she's also the lead pharmacist at First Seed Pharmacy platforms, including Streams Foundation, Natural Health Lovers Africa Community, Blissful Marriage Forum, Long Healthy Hair. I'm interested in this one, Long Healthy Hair Community, Catch Them Young, CTY Initiative, Healthy Living and Wellness Community, Fruitful Vine, among others. Wow. So reading through my guest's profile, it's intriguing enough to want me to not only have her to myself, but introduce her to the world through this platform, Viewpoint with Eniola. So, as I'll be welcoming our guest, I also want to let you know that we have a co-guest, a co-host, who is a woman, and because most of the questions I might not be able to ask as a man, so I have a co-host who I will be also introducing. She's with the name Stella Mari. She's a YouTuber. She's a woman who tries to also equip herself with knowledge, and she's also here today to learn as a woman and also ask questions on behalf of all women. So permit me to introduce you first, my co-host tonight or this evening.
Hello.
Good day, Sister Stella. How are you doing?
Good day, sir. I'm fine.
I'm
Sunny
catching you.
and hot.
I'm catching you on the street of Mountain.
Yes. Munching is very hot. We saw it in the weather forecast that it will rain, but nothing like rain.
I'm sure you can see me sweating.
Yes.
So
Same
you
here. Just
Mountain
that
is
I'm
hot.
in a garden, so it's
Okay.
fair. It's a little bit fair for me here.
Wow. So
Yes.
nice. Thank you for sparing out time to come represent women and ask questions. I'm sure you have loads of them.
Yes, a lot. Thank you very
Okay.
much, sir.
You're welcome. So let's invite our guest. Yet, good evening, ma.
Good
Hello.
evening, ma.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Nice to be here with you.
How are you doing? How's the day been?
Oh, we thank God. It's been good. Homeschooling, having to deal with the children in the home with you all the time.
Yeah.
That's a lot. It's a lot to deal with, but we thank God for grace.
I can see they are still doing the work. I can see the children also wants to be in the stream. You can let them join us. They have a little or more to say. Maybe
Exactly.
they are fruits
That's
of
right.
this reproductive health that we're trying to discuss.
Yes, she's so attached to mommy.
Wow, that's nice.
Good
So,
evening, ma.
Good evening, Madam
Nice
Stella.
to meet you.
Excited to be here.
Thank
Same
you so
here.
much. Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
so in the next couple of minutes, we want to know more about women's reproductive health. So, as a guy, I would say that Mrs. Akotive, what do you have to tell us about women's reproductive health? When we talk about that, in me as a layman, what should I be looking out for or to know?
Okay. Well, basically, the reproductive system of a woman is very interesting because it is so integrated in the whole of her body, her entire system. Unlike a man's system, the way a man's system functions is totally different. I believe that you probably know about the circadian rhythm. That's about how the body's clock works during the course of the day, from when you wake up to midday and all of that, to the night and all that. We have the body focuses basically on certain areas of the body at certain points in time. But for a woman, it's not like a linear graph like that. There's something we call infradian rhythm, coined by that I recently learned from an expert I follow, Alisa Ditu, talking about how a woman's menstrual cycle also influences her entire health. All the six systems of the body, her immune system, her digestive system, her brain function and performance, weight management, sleep, touching everything. And so for a woman, when you're looking at reproductive health or reproduction, you want to look at all of these details. It's not just enough to maybe use birth control pills. Sorry, my little girl is
It's okay.
using my gadget here. Oh
With regards
God.
to this topic, I tell you it's okay because this is to also experience what women go through on a daily basis, especially in this
Mm,
period of lockdown.
mm. Yes. So it's all about the whole system. It's a systemic thing, and that's why I believe in the holistic way to address it. Gosh, this girl interrupted. Sorry about this. I can't even say she would come and interrupt. I
It's
traded
okay.
everything out. She just refused to say. Just a minute. Let me say. Yeah. Okay.
Let her be in
So
the camera so that she would let you rest.
Mama, yeah,
That's what she
come and
wants
write
to
that.
see. She wants to be see what's going on.
Come and write it. Broke down is one. Let me give her a little homework. Okay. Yes. All right. So basically, for a woman, everything is intricately connected. There's a link, and there's one common problem is hormonal imbalance. Hormonal imbalance. And the reason why hormonal imbalance is a big deal for a woman is because of how intricately connected these things are, the whole system. So you over exercise and you throw everything off balance. You eat wrongly and you throw everything off balance. You overexpose yourself to the wrong things and you throw everything off balance. So it's beyond just taking a birth control pill or hormonal contraceptive to balance your hormones, or sticking to one particular kind of diet, maybe keto like we are having it today. These days we're talking about keto or intermittent fasting and stuff like that. It's not as simple as that. So we need to look at the woman as a whole and look at all these systems, particularly her menstrual cycle. That is like the key thing when it comes to reproductive health. Very important.
Wow. So I should be glad I'm a guy now. I don't need to think of all these things.
Your life
So
is so much simpler,
it's so much easy.
Yeah.
so much easier. Straight line
Okay.
every day.
You mentioned weight as one of the factor that women will be or should be conscious about. Can you say a little more with regards to that? Because do you mean if a woman is too slim or if she's too fat, what have you? Does it affect reproduction?
Yes, it can affect reproduction to some extent. But really, when a woman's weight is not ideal, it speaks a lot about how her hormonal system functions. Actually, I can look at a woman, and from what I'm seeing, I can suggest, I can pick some things that might be wrong. And most of the time, when I actually go ahead to ask these women questions, it's always in the affirmative, you know, because the hormones, like I said, they regulate many aspects of a woman's life. So your skin, the acne breakouts you're having, the weight that just refuses to go despite your best efforts and everything, the the irregular cycle or the mood swings and all of those things, and anxiety, panic attacks, depression, all of those things, they are all interconnected. They are all interconnected. So, but for a woman who struggles to lose weight, she has tried all and it's not working. You need to look at your menstrual health. Look
Hmm.
at your hormones. Look at how healthy your hormones are. It's possible that your hormones are out of balance. They are out of alignment. So that's one big thing that we need to look at.
I've learned one lesson. So if the hormones are imbalanced, it is difficult for a woman to lose weight.
It's hard. It's hard. It's going to be hard. But once you have the hormones in balance, easy breezy. Easy breezy. You don't even need to make conscious effort.
Wow.
That's
Okay. So I leave the question now to Sister Stella while I give myself a little break.
Thank you very much, sir. So, Ma, my question, how do you know if you have hormone imbalance? Is it the ability, like what you just said now, that if someone is not losing weight, but some people actually have kids, and some people does not have fertility issue, and they still have hormone imbalance. So, how do
yes.
we know? And how can we even differentiate it that okay, this is hormone imbalance or this is depression? Like what you just said now is like dealing with two things at the go.
Okay.
So, and I felt like if some people don't lose weight because they are depressed, and then they binge eat and do a lot of things, eat everything, and they are not losing weight. And then now I'm hearing it for the first time that hormone imbalance can also cause um someone not losing weight. So how do you know that it is hormone imbalance or it's depression? Hello, ma. Network. Network.
Yeah, I think the network is hanging on.
Okay, network.
I'm sorry, I cannot answer your question. You have to wait till
Yes, I'll wait.
we'll get her back or to get her fixed. But it is nice you're raising this idea or raising this talk that it can be depression. Do you actually think that when a lady is depressed, she can start gaining weight due to that?
Yeah. I've been in that boat before because in 2018 I was depressed for like few months, not so long. But then what I noticed was normally I'm very conscious of my weight. I'm very conscious of what I eat. So I noticed that things I normally wouldn't eat is what I started eating.
Hmm.
So I just want to eat everything. Then I can't cook, I can't even do a lot of things. I got tired of everything. And I love cooking on a normal ground, but then I got tired of cooking and doing all these things. So that's the reason why I know that okay. So actually depression can cause it. So if you're depressed, you can't even go on diet and you can't watch what you're eating. So that's why I'm asking that question because I'm hearing it for the first time that hormone imbalance can also cause someone from not losing weight, which is really serious because a lot of people actually don't know this. Some people I have a lot of people that are always telling me that, I'm tired, I'm not even trying to lose weight again. I've been trying my best, it's not working, I've tried everything, it's not working. So like now I can tell them that okay, they should check their immune system because that is what I want to know. I want her to say it. So next time when people are complaining of not losing weight, you can tell them, is this happening to you? Is this happening to you? Then you're having a problem with your immune. But now
But
the network is
well, let's hope she could join us again. But she also mentioned that when there are issues with your menstrual cycle, it can also affect the weight. It can make you not lose weight. I heard something like that.
all these things. We have to know how exactly because some people right from childhood, their menstrual cycle has been like that. I remember when I was still young, even till when I had my baby. When I'm having my period, before my accident, because I remember after my accident, everything went down a bit. Every month, my classmates would think I'm aborting or I did abortion because I will be vomiting, I will faint. I used to go through a lot of pain, and I don't even want that 4 days to come. It got to a point one of my sister went to put on and she got me a tablet that every time I use it, I'm not going to menstruate.
Wow.
And it's dangerous, but I was using it because of the pain. So now, when I wanted to have my child, even when doctor said no, it's not even possible, you can't have a baby, this. I still got pregnant without stress. So you see that at times you can't even really say that okay, this is what is happening, this is how it's happening, and stuff and stuff. So that's why I'm asking her that question because I really, really want to know, but the network is still far.
I'm hoping she will join us back. I've written back to her. Let's see how long this will take. But so long we'll be talking about women now. It is good that you are a co-host. You will be my guest if she joins. So,
Okay,
what are
okay.
the other challenges that, apart from this menstrual, what are the other challenges you think women go through health-wise that men do not understand?
A lot. Because I used to tell people for a woman to be pregnant, we're discussing about reproductive. For a
Yeah.
woman, I believe the woman has to be emotionally stable. Some people are naturally blessed, and one time they are going to have it immediately. no problem, no stress. Some people are, and if they are not emotionally stable, they can't. So I see so many women, they are looking for, they want to have babies, and they are very stressed out. They cry every time. They are under so much pressure. And with this, they can't even do it because they need
Ah,
to be really stable. Welcome back, ma.
thank you. Sorry about the hitch.
No problem.
All right. So you're asking a question about hormones and
Yes.
reproduction.
So I don't know if you heard before the network went off.
Yeah, I would appreciate if you could repeat the question.
Okay. So my question is, you mentioned it earlier that hormonal imbalance can actually cause someone not losing weight. I've not heard that before, but I'm
Okay.
now asking, how do you know that you have hormonal imbalance? Because now it's obvious. It's not that it's not only people that cannot have babies that have hormone imbalance. You understand?
Certainly.
So people have kids and their hormone is
Mhm,
still not balanced. So how
mhm.
can these people know that, okay, is this hormonal imbalance or something else? Because when someone is also depressed, the person can also not really lose weight because someone that is depressed cannot eat normal. So because I've been there before, so and I know how it is. So
Mhm.
that's the thing, that how can you differentiate it that, okay, this is hormone. Then when you know that this is your problem, you know where to go, you know what to do. But at times people don't even recognize the problem. So that's why I
Yeah.
want to explain a little bit.
Okay. So how you know whether you have a hormonal imbalance or is
Yes.
something else that's causing infertility? Is that what you're saying?
Infertility and not losing weight.
Okay. Okay. One thing you should know is that hormonal imbalances progress into infertility and other problems like that. You understand? So for some women that have been trying to conceive and the doctors have done a lot of screening and they say everything is in order, yet they are not conceiving, hormonal imbalance is one big question that you want to look at. One big thing you want to look at. So for a woman, for you to know whether you have hormonal imbalance, it's not like there are some simple signs and symptoms that the body actually gives. Am I clear enough? Because I think there's an echo. Okay. So there are some simple signs. The body, our body is a very wonderful machine, very amazing. The most sophisticated machine, like I like to call it. Our bodies have ways of communicating things to us. It's not left for us to be able to decode it, just like you have a telephone set. Somebody is calling you from a different geographical zone, and your phone is able to convert the signals into the sounds that you receive. Yes, if over time, for those who have learned how to listen to their bodies, over time they begin to understand some of these things. But your body has a way of telling you that something is out of place. For instance, if I eat a certain kind of food and then my body reacts in a very aggressive way, you know, I want to take notes. Next time I eat that food again, if I experience it and each time I eat it, I experience it, then I know that, oh, my body is not, this food is not compatible with my body. In the same way, when you're experiencing some things, one way you can actually identify hormonal imbalance as a woman is your menstrual cycle, the way your menstrual cycle goes. If you're always having these menstrual cramps, these serious menstrual cramps, some women experience serious menstrual cramps. If you look deep, you will see that there's a hormonal imbalance. And the common one is estrogen dominance. The estrogen hormones, they are excessive, they're in excessive amounts in the body. Okay, so that's one thing. Your body gives you signs. So your menstrual cycle is where you can actually easily detect that there are things going wrong, or you have been trying to lose weight, you are eating right by the books, you think you're eating right, you're eating healthy, you're eating clean, you are not stressing yourself, yet this weight is just not going. You exercise and all that, you have done everything they've said you should do, yet you're not losing weight. Most likely hormones, because estrogen actually regulates your fat distribution in the body. And then we also have the hormones also for that also other hormones that also control weight, like cortisol, insulin. Those are other hormones too that are important in this area. we have the ghrelin and the rest of them, but I don't want to go too much into. We're talking about women, this estrogen and progesterone, those are very important hormones in the body. And estrogen dominance is a common hormonal imbalance that we see in women. So if you are always having acne, maybe just before your period, you're spotting between your period, you have mood swings around your period, maybe before your period, those are signs that your hormones are going out of whack. You are not in balance. You need to take notes. Or for those who are having heavy bleeding, or some people, they are having irregular period. Maybe this month your period comes, next month it goes on holiday, before it comes back again. It's not regular, or you are not even ovulating. No signs of ovulation. Those are key signs for you to know that hormones are out of balance. By the way, I have a guide that there's a checklist I made for those who might be interested in using it. I call it the hormonal imbalance checklist. So it focuses on hello. I call it the hormonal imbalance checklist. And if you're interested, I will send the link, download it. I'll send the link
Yes.
to my post so that those who are interested in downloading, they can have access to it. So
Yeah,
you
it's
can
okay.
just see the checklist and see, okay, which of these signs am I having? This is a pointer into whether you have hormonal imbalance, signs of hormonal imbalance, and what kind of food is likely out of balance.
Okay. Thank you very much. So I'm really grateful. I've learned a lot. So another thing I want to ask is that infertility, does disability affect practice infertility?
Disability, you mean physical disability?
Physical disability.
Okay, for a woman.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, physical disability for a woman. Well, it may not necessarily affect fertility. Depends on what part of the body is affected. For fertility to take place, for a woman to be fertile, first of all, you look at her menstrual cycle. That's number one thing, because that's where everything happens. The estrogen hormones are released at some point, the levels go high, so that we can have that mature follicle that release the egg for ovulation to take place. And then when there's ovulation is released into the tube, we expect the sperm to come in. That's when the woman is fertile. The egg is there ready and waiting for the sperms to come in, right? So yes, that woman is fertile at that point in time before the egg goes down, if there's no sperm to fertilize it. And then she has her menstruation. Menstruation happens and everything goes down, and then we start rebuilding again, and the whole cycle keeps going like that. So like that. So if all of those things are going normally, then nothing should stop her fertility unless there's an obstruction. When there's a physical obstruction, maybe around the tube, first of all, if she's ovulating, there's no problem. She's ovulating because the egg has to be released first, right? That's the egg that will bring the baby. Then after the egg, you also want to look at the tubes, the fallopian tubes. Are they free? Are they healthy? Are they patent? Like they will say, if you go for an HSG, they will check that. An HSG is a test that checks whether the tubes are free and they can actually allow a healthy fertilization to take place. So they do an HSG. So if the tubes are free, the tubes are healthy, then there should be nothing obstructing. Then also you want to go down to the level of the womb, because that's where the baby would be developed, right? So the implantation takes place in the womb. If there's any obstruction like fibroid, which is a common one these days, if there's any obstruction like that, like fibroids, for some women they have endometriosis, that is scar tissues that develop, not only in the womb, it could be in other parts of the body. Like recently, a member of my community mentioned it, and umbilical endometriosis. So you see that it can actually happen in other places, but particularly we're talking about the womb now. So if there's no obstruction like that, then the woman should be able to conceive. So if along the various parts of the reproductive tract, everything is in order and she's ovulating normally, then she shouldn't have any issues.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma. Someone is actually asking a question
Okay.
from the audience.
Okay.
So the person said, could hormonal imbalance be the reason for scanty menstrual flow?
It could be. It could be. It could even be low estrogen, because the estrogen hormone is what actually is one of the main hormones that regulates the flow, the menstrual flow. So it could be a sign of low estrogen. But of course, she can download that guide, that checklist, so that she can also check if there are other symptoms she might be having. Point out to
Okay.
them.
So, ma, if someone has hormonal imbalance, what's the treatment? Is the person supposed to go to the doctor, or can it be, because we're from Nigeria? I also believe in organic remedy, herbal remedy, something like that. So, what can the person do? Is it
Okay.
treatable in the hospital, or you just have to go for do it on your own, or hit LD? What can we do if I notice, for instance, if I notice that I have hormonal imbalance, what are the things I can do to balance my hormone?
Okay. Well, to balance the hormone, there are some basic principles of health that you need to put in place. Okay. First of all, for you to actually really be sure whether you have a hormonal imbalance, you do the test. You can take that test on in the checklist, and then if need be, you can also see your doctor so that they can also examine, particularly for a woman who's trying to conceive. You can also see your doctor, let them examine the womb and check all those areas, the organs, and be sure that everything, is in order then. So that's the first step. Now, how do you now really go down to addressing the problem? Diet is a very important factor, very important. It's like the foundation. Even the father of modern medicine, Hippocrates, says, let your food be your medicine, right? So that is very important. Food is the most powerful medicine you can use to treat disease. Food is the most powerful, and this is something we do every day. Even if you are fasting, you can't fast for more than like 3 weeks, or those who do 40 days. But in a whole year, 40 days is not so much, right? So food is something you do every day, and it can actually be a poison to you, or it can be your biggest, your strongest, most powerful medicine. So food is a first step to actually addressing. So you want to look at your food. How clean is your food? How clean is your diet? Are you eating food-like substances, or you're actually eating food? Like Dr. McHyman says, Dr. McHyman says that, most of these processed foods, highly processed foods, he calls them food-like substances. And I agree, because they don't contain the kind of nutrients that your body needs, and they've removed the important nutrient that your body needs from them, and then added synthetic ones, and they call them enriched or fortified with vitamin this and all that. They are not the same thing as what nature has intricately prepared for you. So food is a necessary first step. So you want to clean out your diet, stop eating highly processed foods that are inflammatory, creating a lot of inflammation in the body, throwing things off balance in the body. Stop eating packaged foods and start eating real food. Real food. Buy food from the farmers market. Your vegetables and fruits. You need a lot of nutrients. At least I did a diploma in nutrition with Show Academia, and I learned a lot. One of the key things that I took away was the fact that every day we need 8 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables for us to maintain good health. 8 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. Now, how many people get even 1 or 2 servings? Can I challenge you? How many do you get in a day? You don't even know. So that's a good place to start. That's actually a good place to start from. You want to get a lot of people actually have high levels of micronutrient deficiency. That is common. So for especially people in the Western world, they might not be having issues with
Yeah.
macronutrient deficiency. A lot of kwashiorkor and marasmus and the rest of them, they might not be having, but micronutrient deficiency is a common one that cut across all boards, whether you are rich or poor, because the rich think that, okay, I have access to, packaged foods. I can go to the most the biggest superstores and get, nice packaged foods and all that, and go to the restaurant, fast food, and buy pizza and the rest of them. And they think they're having fun, but they are actually doing more harm than good. So you may be getting your fat, your carbohydrates, your protein, but then how about your vitamins, your minerals, and the enzymes, and the plant compounds that do a lot to our body, to support our body. So a lot of people are deficient in that area, and that's one of the things that drives disease in modern times. So yes, nutrition is number one. If you put nutrition, for a lot of people, once you even put nutrition in place, you may not even see that hormonal imbalance again. Everything can easily go back in balance. Then stress is another thing. stress is a killer of hormones, especially your progesterone, which is the hormone that supports fertility. Progesterone is the pregnancy supporting hormone. Without progesterone, the pregnancy can as well just come down. We've seen a lot of women that have threatened abortion, and eventually, there's miscarriage because of low progesterone. So if you are stressed, stress takes a whole lot of progesterone out of the body, because there's this equation. If there's a raw material, we call it pregnenolone, that when you are stressed, pregnenolone is what will be converted to progesterone. But that same pregnenolone can be converted to cortisol, which is your stress hormone that helps you to cope with stress. So when you are stressed, then the levels of cortisol, the body will need more of that cortisol. And so the body is going to put a pause on production of the progesterone and use that ingredient for your cortisol. And so you are suffering that imbalance. So there'll be more estrogen dominance leading to all of these things. So stress is a big one. Stress is a big one that we also need to control. And sleep. I call sleep the master healer, because sleep does a whole lot for balancing your hormones. When you sleep, the body is able to do its deep work. It's able to compartmentalize the information you receive for the day. It's able to check the various systems of the body to see where there are issues that need to be repaired, and it does all those repairs and everything. But when you don't sleep, what happens? The body is unable to do that. And then when you don't even get enough sleep, research has shown that it turns on the inflammatory genes in the body that will further drive up the disease. So that is also very important. So sleep, getting adequate sleep is important. And the timing of the sleep, of course, is also important. Like I usually tell people, between 9 and 11, get to bed, sleep, so that by the time your body is doing that deep liver regeneration around 1 a.m., you're already in deep sleep, and the body is able to do that. That's very important. So between 11 and say 5 a.m., you should be asleep. Can wake up by 5 a.m., then do your normal. You see that your body will be rejuvenated, will be energized, and it helps to keep your hormones in balance. So that's also a very important part. So there's one issue that comes up, the issue of birth control pills or hormonal contraceptives for balancing your hormones. I think it's worth mentioning. Now, the problem with them, because I see a lot of physicians prescribe that. Sorry, don't mind them. The truth is that, yes, we are thankful that they've helped to prevent a lot of unwanted pregnancies and all that. But the truth is that they are not addressing the problem. So it's like you have a house, if you have a fire alarm in your house, right? And there's fire, so the alarm goes off. And instead of you to go and check what is going on, where the fire is coming from, you just destroy the fire alarm so that you don't hear any sound again. And then you continue to live life as usual, continue to do things, and you think all is well. What would happen? Eventually that house is going to be raised down in fire because you did not go to the root to address it. And that's the problem I have with birth control pills. They do not actually address the problem. They do not address the roots of the problem. And so they will shut down the woman's menstrual cycle. They will shut down that, what we call the infradian rhythm. They will shut it down and be regulating things for it. And so maybe you feel better and you think that you are good, you are doing good, but the disease is brewing and you're only postponing the evil day, really. So they don't address the root causes. They only just mask the symptoms. And it's only a matter of time, boom, you hear that a woman has been diagnosed with breast cancer and all those things. It's because, and funny enough, research has actually shown that there's a strong link between breast cancer and these birth control pills. Yes, there was a study that was done with thousands of women. Yes, so from that research, we see that women that are on birth control pills have a 20% higher chance of having cancer. Yes. Estrogen positive cancer.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the information. I have so many people dealing with this same issue you just mentioned. I have so many people that are always complaining of not able to get pregnant after using birth control pill or the injection or the hand stuff. And but the thing is, what are we now going to do? Is there any natural way of preventing pregnancy? That is another question. But I have a question before that one. My question is, um, I was pregnant. I had two miscarriages before I had my baby. One of them, the pregnancy was about 3 months, and they told me that the heartbeat stopped. So I want to ask, was it hormonal imbalance or something else? Because the doctor till today did not explain anything to me. I was even asking that I just want to know what was wrong, what went wrong, because the heartbeat was strong before and now you said it stopped, and then you have to evacuate the pregnancy. So what's going on? And here they don't really explain. So it's like, yeah, it happens, it's normal, don't worry, the next one will be good, and that is it. But I always ask myself, because I want to know, was it because of the hormone, or you think something else?
Okay, that the baby's heartbeat stopped, right? Sorry. Okay. Well, I can't actually exactly say what the problem might have been, but it's possible that there was a hormonal imbalance. It's possible, it's possible. For a baby's heartbeat to have stopped, it's possible that maybe the baby wasn't getting nutrients. Maybe the nutrients were not getting to the baby, and so eventually, yes, it could cause that. Because of course, for a fetus to develop and get to full term, the baby must be getting adequately nourished. Should be getting the oxygen, because the baby relies on the mother's supply for all its nutrients, all its nutritional needs, whether it is oxygen, the vitamins, the minerals, the energy giving foods, your carbohydrates, blood sugar, and all those things. So the proteins, the amino acids, the essential fatty acids. The baby depends on the mother for those supplies. Now, if there's something wrong with the connection, maybe the implantation, if there was something wrong with the implantation, which is common with women that have fibroids. So if there was anything wrong with the implantation, definitely, eventually that would happen. The baby that pregnancy will not survive because of not being able to get adequate supply of nutrients. So that is possible. And another thing that could contribute to that is that low progesterone. That's a common one with threatened miscarriage and eventual miscarriage. Low progesterone, low progesterone. So it's possible. It could be a combination of both or more factors. Possible.
Thank you very, very much. Wow. Knowledge is key. Thank you so much. So, like, what can we do now? Like, about the birth control pills. So, what do you think is the solution if someone cannot really use birth control pills without thinking of the future problem? So, and like, it's not even advisable. So many people are scared to use it. So it's either you use it and tell yourself that, okay, probably I might not be able to conceive again, or you tell yourself that, okay, I'm not even ready to conceive again, let me go ahead. For people who really want to conceive again, but they just need like 1 year interval or some months interval to get pregnant again, what do you think they can do? Is there a natural remedy or something?
Okay. Yes. Yes. For women who want to space their children, or you are not ready at this point in time and you want to have that, you still want to, you have to still do the normal duty as or have intimacy with your spouse and all that, and but you're not ready for the next baby. Yes, there are things you can do. There are ways you can go about it. First of all, there is the withdrawal method for those who can do it, because I know it's not everybody that can do withdrawal. Okay, but there is withdrawal method. But even before we even begin to talk about these various methods of natural methods of contraception, we need to understand, a woman needs to understand her menstrual cycle. She needs to be in tune with it. That is what I always preach to every woman I know. Every woman I consult with, I speak with, I coach and all that. I always tell them, you have to monitor, you have to track your menstrual cycle. Very important, because that's one key way you can easily tell how your health is, because of how intricately connected to your entire system it is. Yes, so you need to be in tune with your menstrual cycle. So you should know when you are ovulating, when you're around your fertile period, which is around your ovulation, by the signs you're seeing. like the cervical mucus discharge that is like slimy or slippery, like egg white, that's when you're most fertile. So all those signs, you need to take them into consideration. So they are very important. So you need to be in tune with your menstrual cycle. Once you understand your menstrual cycle, which we call the fertility awareness method, so when you are ovulating, you have an idea of when you are ovulating, when your next period is likely to happen. So it means your luteal phase, your follicular phase, the two phases of the menstrual cycle. I hope I'm not going too deep into detail. Yes. So that's the first thing. So then for those who they can be doing what we call basal body temperature charting. So they can be charting their basal body temperature. That means when they wake up, there's a particular kind of thermometer for doing that. It is very sensitive compared to the regular thermometer. So before you get up, when you wake up in the morning, before you get up, you take that temperature and you chart it. There are mobile apps that you can use these days, that you just log it in. Even me, I use a mobile app to monitor my cycle, makes life easier. But if you are the old school type or you just prefer to see it, right, fine, get a dedicated book that you use for that purpose, so you can do basal body temperature charting. So that's one other method. Then we have the cervical mucus monitoring. All of those things are part of the fertility awareness. Then also when you're around your fertile period, you want to do either withdrawal or you use condom, a barrier, which is condom, or a woman can use diaphragm. You can use diaphragm also. That's another thing you can do. And there's female condom too. If the man doesn't want to use condom, there's female condom. We have female condoms these days. Then we also have some condoms that have spermicides. So that period when you know that you are in your fertile period, you can use such kind of condoms so that, yes, you know that the risk of getting pregnant is highly reduced. Those are things you can do. Now, we also have some kinds of seed. I've not done a lot of research on that aspect, but there are certain kinds of seed that have been um, shown to have contraceptive properties that when you swallow them, you know, like FDN Naturals, fdnnaturals.com. You can check her out. She has something like that. She's into natural stuff.
I know.
Yes. She has like that you use it every month, and then when you don't want to, when you want to conceive, you stop taking it. And I don't know. I've not done a lot of research on it, but those are other ways you can also use. So withdrawal, diaphragm, barriers. Those are some basic steps you can actually use. Those are natural ways you can use to control.
Wow. Thank you very much.
I think I have a question.
Thank you so
It's
much.
a pleasure.
You mentioned fibroid, and I noticed that many women have issues with fibroid. How do we tackle that?
Sorry, I didn't get that. My little one here is making noise, so I can't even hear you.
I said
Okay,
you
can you?
mentioned fibroid.
Yes,
Yes, and
yes.
I know these days we have many women who complains fibroid as an hindrance to getting pregnant. How do we tackle that?
Okay. Now, I normally advise women that have fibroids to fix it first before trying to conceive, because I have a personal experience with fibroid, and I know what it was like being pregnant with fibroid. It wasn't a nice experience. As a matter of fact, the fibroids grew with my pregnancy. It was actually the pregnancy I found out that I had fibroids. I didn't know I had fibroids, and it was a heartbreaker for me, but I had to deal with it. And then I wasn't well informed. I wasn't even educated about it. And so the fibroids grew. I went living life as usual, and so the fibroids grew with the pregnancy and led to a CS delivery. And there was a bit of birth defect that thankfully we're able to use physiotherapy to correct. And that is why I advise women, please, if you have fibroid, just take your time and take care of it first before attempting to get pregnant, so that you don't expose yourself and the baby to all these complications. So if a woman has fibroid, it's advisable to first of all address it. Now, how you address it is another ball game, right? So the reason I did not go for surgery was because I found out that surgery was only like symptomatic treatment. It was only removing the symptom, but was not correcting the underlying problems. The root causes were not being addressed. And so I had to do a lot of research. It took me years to actually find all the missing pieces of the puzzle and finally be able to help myself to fix the fibroid. So for a woman who has fibroid and you're trying to conceive, I advise, first of all, take care of the fibroid before you attempt to conceive. Now, if you want to go for surgery, you think I don't have the patience, because if you want to go the natural way of treating fibroids, it's possible. Although the size will determine how soon you can, heal from it, but it is possible. I've done it, and other women too have done it. So it is possible using certain tools and food and all of that, targeted food and targeted supplements and or stuff like that. So yes, it's possible to do it, but then you have to be patient. You have to be committed to doing what it takes. So if you want to do that, that's great, because that is a holistic way. It takes care of every aspect. It's not just removing the growth alone, but it's correcting the underlying hormonal imbalances, which is what has progressed into the fibroids. So that is a good way to go. But for those who do not have the patience, they can still go for surgery. But the problem, that these things have their pros and cons. The problem with surgery is that, yes, it will make you feel better, get relief very quickly, but then there could be scarring. There could be scar tissues, adhesions that can block implantation, that can cause miscarriages, that can even cause infertility, which I see with a lot of women. I know somebody that has been, dealing with it for 8 years now because of the surgery, So those were the things I saw that made me not to go the way of surgery. So surgery can give you faster results with your symptoms, but then it doesn't address the root causes. So even if you go for surgery, you can still go back and use this holistic method to, clean up the whole system, address the root causes, the things that led to the fibroids in the first place. Then another way people also address it is using herbs, herbal mixtures and all that. Now that can be very dangerous. That can be dangerous because the system in Nigeria, the alternative healthcare system in Nigeria is not very regulated. These things are not well standardized. Just very few companies that go all the way. They put the GMP, good manufacturing practices, into their products and all that. Very few. For the majority, they are not properly standardized, and because of that, these people are getting my children. They are getting restless. Okay, can you give me a minute, please? Yes, can you give me a minute? I'm on it. Oh, thank you. No way. Allow her to and play. She's coming. All right. Thank you. Thank you. It's all right. It's allowed. That's not a problem. Okay. I'll get her another one. Sorry. Okay, so the thing is that because natural products can be very potent, as a pharmacist, I know about these things. I know about natural products, pharmacognosy. I know that herbs can be very potent. They can actually give the kind of result that pharmaceutical products can give also. But then, even though pharmaceutical products have been properly researched, at least because they've been made to go through that rigorous process of checking that these things are safe, and there's post-marketing survey and all those things being done for most of them because it's a requirement by the regulatory bodies. Now, for natural products, they may not necessarily be undergoing such processes, and that is where the risk is. Okay, they may not be going through that rigorous process to be sure that the level of toxicity has been contained, it is safe and all of that. So because of that, many women have fallen victim of the side effects, the unpleasant, untoward effect of the toxic effects of some of these natural products or herbal mixtures. So it could damage some of the content, could actually damage the liver, could damage the kidney. Like I held a master class sometime in June, and the lady was telling me about how her mom died from the toxicity of herbs, when she was trying to address, yes, her reproductive health issue. So these things are real, and many women, I know about a distant relative also that had such issues. She died from the complications of such products. So you want to be careful around herbal products or herbal mixtures. So the holistic way, really, even if you are using a herbal mixture, is still you're still using one prong approach. Fibroid is a multifaceted thing. So you want to address all the possible areas, all the factors. And nutrition is always the foundation. Nutrition, stress reduction, sleep, then other things come as a supporting tool. I hope you understand.
Yes, you also mentioned that you have people you coach. How do we, if we have people who want to contact you, how do they reach you to get more advice and more insight on this?
Okay, they can follow my Facebook page, Tope A Akwative, or they go to facebook.com/fibroid coach. That's my Facebook page. I'm also on Instagram, Tope Akwative_fibroid therapist. And you can also reach out to me on WhatsApp. I think I still have a little time every now and then to check my WhatsApp and see. Okay, so they can also reach out to me on my WhatsApp. I think you can drop the link for them. They can
Okay.
start with my or check my website. You can also book appointments there. Check out my website, topeakotive.com.
So do you still have questions, Stella?
No, that's enough. I really appreciate being here. It's more of a blessing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I'll contact you. I've seen your WhatsApp number, and I'm also going to check your website. I think you have two, so I'm going to purchase one of them, and I'll keep in touch. Thank you so much. God will continue to bless you, ma.
Amen. Thank you very much, Stella, for your time. And I know that you have sacrificed about 1 hour without your
Yeah.
kids, so you also need to go. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Thank
We'll
you
talk
so
again
much,
if
sir.
possible.
Thank you, sir. Bye, bye, ma.
Bye.
Bye.
So it's been a nice time listening to you and talking about this reproductive health. But one thing I've learned is that many of us do, or many women go the wrong way, especially with regards to those natural herbs. Because I've heard testimonies, I wouldn't say testimonies, I've heard people complain how damaging it is or it was. So several people have different experience with this, our local agbo. You would say,
Yeah.
agbo, looking agbo, kowa, let us go and do it. So it is a wake up call to let them know that yes, it might work, but you are not, there's no regulatory how do I say it? There's no stamp
There's
on
no
it that
regulation.
okay, yeah, it's not being regulated. You don't have a specific dosage. So at the end of the
Yes.
day, it's destroying something else in your body, which
Mhm.
would even be more damaging than what you're curing. So it's a
Yes.
way of creating awareness and so that people will know that though yes, it can work according to you, but it is not
Mhm.
controlled.
Yes. 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 That's
So
correct.
talking about your work. When I spoke with you, you mentioned that you have groups, you teach, you have people you talk with, you coach. You actually said it now that you're a coach. So if you want to participate in your coaching class, must it only be based on woman reproductive health issues, or you talk about other health issues?
Of course, we talk about every everything. We talk about other health issues. We basically teach women. We teach people how to live healthy lifestyle, eating clean, eating right, eating food that nourish your body. Because it's essentially about preventing disease or healing diseases or healing from diseases. Is basically about removing things that are troubling the body and feeding the body with what it needs to thrive. That's basically what it's about. So it's just that from my own experience, from what I went through, it's developed this kind of passion to spread the word out there and liberate other women from what I learned, from my own experience, through my own experience. So yes, I do a whole lot on women, but basically we teach about how to live healthy, how to live disease, regain your freedom, and get your best health, and be able to enjoy a good quality of life. So yes.
So I've dropped several links which will go directly to you either through your email, your Facebook, or your Instagram. Your WhatsApp link is also on the chat. So if you have people who have other questions, they can direct it to you directly. I also want to add that um, I am sure you're at your best. You might not be at your peak. I'm sure you're doing your best because I've always known you to be one of the best students. And permit me to say that we attended the same primary school, and there was nobody who could get closer to your grades. All through, you were the first. And each time we thought, people would say, where is Tope now? So it is not surprising that you're a pharmacist, you're a coach, you're this, that. So I also want to use this opportunity to tell our listeners, our viewers, whatever, that they are with a trusted person, someone who has carried on a line or who are tread on a line of success at a tender age and to maintain it to the school and also having a family and having to do with work and stress and all of this. How do you cope? Let that be my last question.
Okay, first of all, God is my strength. He has always been my strength. He has always been the one helping me to go cope. Sorry, this girl is distracting me. Let me just quickly
Yes.
address her. Come carry you. Okay. Yeah. Say hello, everybody.
I
Okay. So he's my strength. Okay, giving me the resilience to go through these things. Then I use some systems like I take from here and there. I've learned about a lot of things from the miracle morning. I've learned from being able to use the circadian rhythm. You've been able to use the circadian rhythm to, to develop your activities for the day, following how your body works so that you are not dragging yourself through the day. You know when your body is at its best for this kind of task and you just go in tune. I call it body syncing. And there's a guide for that, a body syncing guide that helps you to know what should you be doing at what point in time. Then understanding a woman's cycle, how it works, when you're at your best energy for what and all that. They all play in the whole game. They all help in the whole game. And then I've also learned to use delegation for some things that I can delegate because you can't do everything yourself. Sometimes you have to, use your money. Yes. Sometimes you have to just pay to get certain kinds of stress off you. So I use that too. So I have some people on my team that help me like on this my online business, consulting business. I have people on my team for my pharmacy business too, and thankfully I've been able to get very good hands. I'm thankful for that. So they help me. So there's a support system that really helps me to put all of these things in balance. It's a support
so
system.
thank you very much. And I hope that we will see many more people coming to you through your platforms to learn. And one thing I learned today, one very thing, and it is good, this is coming from a Nigerian, that food is a key factor. I presently work in the hospitality industry where I also have to learn about food. And I realized that most of the foods we eat in Nigeria, even the ones we prepare ourselves, we kill all the nutrients before they are ready. So at the end of the day, we're not getting the values the foods are for. And I hope that when people get to you, we are used to this fried stew. We will fry the stew to the oil. The oil must be on top. We will still fry
Mm-hmm.
the meat. It must be bonko bonko. At the end of the day, there is nothing else in those things.
It's just it's just the flavor. It's just the flavor, the taste, and then the nutrient is dead.
So I want people to contact you so that you you will educate them more on that because I
Yeah.
I need people to know much more on that. Several times I try to tell people as a guy, and I'm not a medical personnel, they'll just look at it. What do you know? Your food is not tasty. I say, okay, add Maggie, add salt. In the kitchen of a hotel where I work, they don't use Maggie.
Okay, great to know. I think we should talk about that one of these days,
They don't
because
use
that's
Maggie.
one thing I'm trying to teach people in my community. So I have some women on this hormone balancing meal plan, and I recently thought about that, about how to cook without using this seasoning, these seasoning cubes, the MSG containing seasoning cubes, and the response was like, how practicable is this? Is this something that can this be done really? And it's something that a lot of people need to wake up to. And I was referring to the past, in the days of our grandparents, excuse me, and our great grandparents. They cooked tasty food, tasty soups without using these things. And then in the modern age, we've been trained with using these seasoning cubes, but then we can actually cook tasty meals. It's just a question of retraining our taste buds and adjusting. Once you adjust, I've been doing that for some months now, you know, and I'm not missing it. But it's about just start. Like I always tell people, just start small. Start with a little bowl of stew and try it out. There are natural herbs and spices that can help you to enhance the taste. Use your garlic, your ginger, your onions, those things, your oregano and co. They will help you to improve the taste. So there are ways of going about these things. And you can also teach us from your own experience since you are in the industry.
One thing is this: I'm always very, very skeptical with regards to information. And when you know your audience, they will weigh you and say, "Ah, Eniola, what do you know?" They will tell you because I actually once lived in a shared apartment. We use the same kitchen, we buy the same food products, and in a week, a packet of Maggie, that Maggie cube, a packet,
Yeah.
it will be half. I was like, "Ulu, wow, a lot of my wow." In a week. So if I buy a packet of Maggie, even while I stay alone, it can last me for 6 months because I have trained myself not to be bothered about it. I know it's just going to have taste and it has other effects on my body. And I should consider my health first. Taste
Yes.
add nothing to my value, to my health. It's just from the top. Once it gets out of the top, that's all it is. So hopefully our people will learn and they will learn more from you. You're a specialist in that field. So when you tell them they will accept and understand that okay, this person is a practitioner, a pharmacist, she knows better. Maybe I'll bring you again, we'll talk solely on nutrition.
All
Then
right.
we'll see how that will go with regards to our taste board and our cooking styles in Africa.
All right. That's fine. That's
Thank you
fine.
very much once again. And thanks to all our viewers who has joined us, those who have asked questions, and those who have just been listening. And I hope that you've learned one thing or the other from our guest today. She has really tried to cope with this time with the children, always wanting their mother. But nonetheless, she has given us enough insight with regards to this women's reproductive health. And I think that she has so much to offer, so much to say, and we cannot say all online. At the particular time, she was saying, I don't know if I'm saying too much. So I know you have so much to say. So we will contact you, and we hope that many people will also contact you for advice and for support. I also want to use this medium to thank Stella Maris. She's a YouTuber. She can also host you someday so that we have different audience because the goal of this platform is to share information, to pass message, to motivate people, to educate, to encourage, and also to promote. So as much as we are bringing you here to educate us, we also want to promote your line of business so that people will be informed that okay, things are possible and they are genuine. So thank you very much once again, and we hope we will have you back soon enough.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Our best regards to the kids for their patience.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
All right. Bye.
So this has been a wonderful chat with our guests this evening. And I want to use this period once again to appreciate everyone who has contributed, who has commented, who has viewed, who has shared. And also, you can follow Stella Maris on YouTube. You can also follow Viewpoint with Daniela on YouTube and on Instagram. On Facebook, we're always here to bring you informative messages, to bring you guests that will pass informations to you, that will educate us and throw light into several topics that we think we need. So today we've been able to talk a little about women's reproductive health, and we've seen or learned that nutrition is a key value. Our food is a part of our life, it's a part of our healthy living. So let us watch what we eat. As a woman, monitor your hormonal system or hormone system. Know how your system is. Contact our guest if you need to know more, or make research on your own when you think that you need more ideas or you need support. You make contact. You have the list of several contact points to her, either through Instagram, through Facebook, or through our personal website. You will always get across to her. So thank you very much once again. Enjoy the rest of the evening. This is Viewpoint with Eniola. And if you're here to share, please share because you don't know whom you're helping. That's the essence of hearing your view. Let other people see, let other people learn, let them also benefit from all we've spoken about this evening. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.